Hey, this is Jared again. I have manga for October, and a lot of manga came out this month. Quite a bit. In fact, I haven't actually read all of it yet, but I wanted to make this video now while I had the time. So, first thing I got was Toriko Volume 30. This volume has them starting the Gourmet World arc, and I'm really excited to see it. They've already entered it, and I can't wait to see all the crazy monsters and stuff they have in it. I still really enjoy this series. Great shonen. I don't feel like it's getting old or anything. So yeah, very good. Highly recommend Toriko. Next is Magi Volume 14. Again, this series, like the other, is starting a brand new arc where the main heroes go their separate ways to train. And it's still really good. I really enjoy this series a lot. And I can't wait to see them evolve and become stronger and then get together again. I don't know how far it is in Japan, and I don't know if it stays just as great, but I hope so because it's a really good series. And yeah. Next is Akame ga Kill Volume 4. I'm really liking this one. I figured I would. The anime, everyone was talking about how great it was. And the anime, I think, made up its own ending or something like that, so that's why I didn't bother to watch it. But the manga so far is really good, and I'm really liking the characters. I feel invested in them, and it sucks to have to wait a few months for each volume. I know I could read them online, and I'm tempted to, but I'm not there yet, so. Alright, next is Fairy Tail, Volume 50. 50 volumes, that's quite a lot. It's really getting up there, and I still really like Fairy Tail a lot. I know a lot of people hate it, and a lot of people love it, and I don't love it, but I think it's very fun. I enjoy reading it. You know, it's not one of my favorites, but I like it, and I like getting new volumes. It's, I think, pretty much caught up to Japan now. I think Japan has 51 or 52 volumes. So sadly, I won't be getting these once a month like before, but you know, I'll still wait. It's not like it's really hard to remember what happened before, so because it's kind of simple, but that's one of the things I like about it. So Fairy Tail, I still really enjoy. It's probably taken Naruto's place as one of the big three now. You know, it's always been a contender. So next is A Certain Scientific Accelerator, Volume 1. This is a spin-off of Scientific Railgun, which is a spin-off of Magical Index. Now, while Railgun, I don't think you need to read Index first to understand it because it really stands well on its own. Accelerator, I really feel like you need to read Railgun in order to enjoy this. The main character is from Railgun, and it starts off with him just after a battle from Railgun, so it'd be kind of confusing if you just started with this, especially with the terms and stuff they talk about in it. I'm not really sure where to place this in the Index universe or whatever. I guess it would be around after Volume 6 of Railgun, I would say. So read at least the first 6 volumes before reading this. So yeah, I can't really say if I really like it so far because it's just the first volume. The main character, he's okay. I don't think he's that interesting of a character so far. He's kind of just a bland bad guy. But he's the main good guy in this series, so we'll see. But I have faith in it because I really like Railgun a lot. So hopefully this turns out great too. Next is A Certain Magical Index, Volume 3. This volume was pretty good. The first 2 volumes, I thought the plot was moving a little too fast, and that's probably because it's an anime adapted into a manga, and that tends to be kind of bad. But this volume was pretty good. It's probably because I'm familiar with the plot, because it connects with the clone plot in Railgun. But it's nice because you get the point of view from the guy, and you don't get that in Railgun, so you actually get to see him dealing with the clones and everything, which is pretty cool. I would say this takes place after Volume 4 of the Railgun series. That's where I would place it. But yeah, it was enjoyable. I liked it, and I don't know. I guess I'll see what happens next in the next volume. The Clone Saga doesn't get concluded in this, so it'll probably be another volume. And I don't know where it's going to go from here. The main character hasn't shown up in the recent arcs of Railgun, so I do wonder what he's been doing in the meantime, so that'll be interesting. But yeah, highly recommend Railgun. Even if you don't read Index or Accelerator, at least read Railgun because it's really good. Next is Lone Wolf and Cub Omnibus number 10. I don't know when this series is going to end. I thought these were 3-in-1s and it would be done by now, but I was wrong. They just shove a bunch of chapters and that's it. So I have no idea when this is going to end. Maybe volume 14, 13, somewhere there. I'm guessing. It's got to be near the end because the final confrontation with the bad guy is happening. I don't think there's going to be any more short stories and little adventures for the main character anymore. I think it's reaching the end game here. So, yeah. I still really like the series, though. I think it's amazing. Great. And I'll be kind of sad when it's done. So, that's that. Next is Claymore, Volume 27, the final volume. Now, I read Claymore's ending online because I liked this series so much that I just had to keep reading it. So I already knew what was coming, but it's still a really great series. I loved it a lot. It's one of my favorites. I think it was my top favorite ongoing series, and now that it's completed, I'm sure it's going to be on my top completed list. And it's just a really great series. If you're thinking about reading it, they just released the box set with all 27 volumes. Though I would read a few chapters online first before investing in that. But if it does look really good and you plan on collecting the series, just get the box set. And I loved the way it ended. It was very conclusive, but still left a little open if they ever did want to go back into this world and continue. But not a big enough cliffhanger where you're like, well, they have to continue it or else it's a bad ending. So, yeah, very good all together. Enjoyed it a lot. Claymore. Next is Pokemon Adventures Black and White, Volume 9, which is the last volume for this. I held off reading Black and White because I wanted to read the other sagas first, like Emerald and all that. And then I decided I'll just wait till Black and White's finished because it's only 9 volumes. So I haven't read this yet, but I'm going to start reading with Volume 1 and see how this is. I like Pokemon Adventures a lot. I think they're really great stories. Some stories better than others. After this is Black 2 and White 2. I don't see it online anywhere as being released, but the back of this volume says that it's being released, so I don't know how long Black 2 and White 2 is. The Wikipedia is doesn't have a lot of detail. It looks like it's only 1 volume, maybe 2 volumes, because I know X and Y is being made. It's already like deep into it, so I don't know. But yeah, so haven't read this yet, but I'll get to it. Another one I haven't read yet is Dead Man Wonderland. This is volume 11. I think there's 13 volumes, 12 or 13, and which is why I've held off reading it, so I almost have them all, and I could finally read this series. I've always wanted to. I know I could just start now, but I don't like reading and then having to stop. I'd rather just read it all. So, yeah. If it was a really long series, I would just start it and then read it online if I really like it. But since it's so short, I figure I'll just wait. So, next is Naruto, volume 72, the final volume. Naruto is another one of the series where I read the ending back when it first was made, so nothing new here, but it's nice that I have all the volumes now. Actually, there's 1 volume left to come out, and that's the Boruto spin-off. It's only 1 volume long, and the volume is getting released here in the US, so yeah, it's 1 more volume to get. But yeah, Naruto, great series, one of the big 3. A lot of people don't like the big 3, they're kind of snobbish to it, but I think they're good, and I really like Naruto, and it was nice to have an ending. So, Next is Magical Girl Apocalypse Volume 5. Still very, very weird series. It's kind of like Gantz, only even more ridiculous because instead of aliens, it's magical girls. But I still love all the different magical girl designs they have, and they're all very creepy. And this volume kind of ends a story arc, and the next story arc starts. So I'll be interested to see where it goes from here. It's still very enjoyable. Nothing very amazing that makes it stand out and makes it like one of my favorites or anything, but I still really enjoy it a lot. It's not for the faint of hearted though, so don't read it if you don't like gore or anything, or if you get depressed easily, don't read it. But yeah, I still enjoy it. So now the complete opposite of that is Yatsuba Volume 1. Probably the most innocent and cheerful manga I have in my entire collection. It's all ages, and it really is all ages. It's just about this little girl who's like, I don't know, 6 years old, 7, I think. I don't know, they don't say. And it's just her daily life, and she's very cheerful. Her neighbors are really nice, her father's nice, and it's just her everyday life, really. There's no major plot, there's no ongoing story. It's just her life, which means this series could go on forever, or it could go on like it could end tomorrow. There's, you know, it's one of those series. And normally I don't like slice of lives because they're all very similar. Always high school kids going through the exact same thing. Like, oh, here's the beach episode, here's the trip episode. It's always the same. This is different because it's the point of view of a little girl, which is different. And she also acts her age. You know, usually in mangas and animes, a girl or guy under 10 tends to act older than he really or she is. So it's nice to see a kid act like a kid. And it's really cute and happy. If you don't really like that kind of stuff, then don't read it. But if you do, then I highly recommend this because it's really enjoyable. I loved it a lot more than I thought I would. It's made by the same guy who did Azumanga Daioh, which I like. Very good series. You can get the whole thing in one omnibus. So I recommend that. And I recommend this. If you like Azumanga Daioh and Lucky Star and stuff like that, you should really read this because it's really enjoyable. It made me happy, and I was actually really upset when I finished the volume because I just wanted to keep reading more and more. So very surprised at how much I like this. It's probably one of my favorite pickups in a long time. So yeah, just definitely check this out if you have any interest in cute, happy slice of life stuff. Definitely. So Yatsuba Volume 1. And I'm definitely going to pick up the other volumes. Next is Tokyo Ghoul Volume 3. Haven't gotten to this volume yet, but I really like the series so far. The first 2 volumes were great, and I'm excited to see what happens next. Yeah, not much to really say since I haven't read it yet, but I like the series, and I'm probably going to keep reading it, because unless this volume suddenly takes a turn for the worst, I see no reason why I wouldn't keep reading it. Next is Inuyashiki Volume 1. I haven't read it yet, but it's from the same guy who did Gantz, and Gantz is one of my favorite series, so I thought I'd check this out. Apparently it's about a superhero, but it's very different because the superhero is this old guy, which makes me interested because usually old people aren't main characters in series. I mean, I'm sure middle-aged people are, like people in like their 50s or 40s or whatever, but never an old man who looks like he's in his 70s. So yeah, I'm interested to read this, and I hope it's as good as Gantz because I really liked Gantz. So yeah, Inuyashiki. Another one I haven't started yet is Food Wars, which I heard a lot about, very popular, and I haven't read it yet, but I hear great things. I guess it's all just about cooking, but unlike Toriko, there's no fighting or anything. It's really just cooking, and that sounds interesting, but apparently it's even better than I would think because everyone says it's just really good, and they do a great job showing how they make the food, and the food looks really appetizing and everything like that. I guess it's like Iron Chef, the manga, pretty much. So yeah, I can't wait to read it. I love Toriko, even aside from the battling, just the food aspect of Toriko is really good. It always makes me hungry. So I don't know. Hopefully this series is really good as well. Another one I haven't started yet is Noragami, Volume 1. Noragami is another series I've heard a lot about, and I guess I'm just jumping on the bandwagon because, why not? I hear good things about it, so why not read it? I have no idea what it's about, but I've heard a lot of good stuff, so I'll check it out. And lastly, same thing, I haven't read it yet, but Batum, which is one of the lamest titles to a manga I've heard in a while. I guess it's just making the sound of an explosion. But I wanted to read this series because people have said it's kind of like Battle Royale, which is my favorite book. I love Battle Royale. I think the manga is good, and so is the movie, but I think the novel itself is better than both of them. It's a really good book. And I heard it's kind of similar to that. So I decided to check it out. I haven't read it yet, but hopefully it's really good. And that's it for this month. Yeah, I'll try to post this as soon as possible. Thank you for watching.